Greetings. What is the one thing you're here to do? Live love. And how were you able to do that this past week?
Well, I had a really good time going with Gail and Charlotte for her new next round of chemotherapy, and it was because her back's good enough that she has to sit in one of those chairs, so we can't have our party room. We can't have only one person at a time back there. So and Gail went back, and I felt there's a little area. There's 3 seats across from the registration, and that's all there is, a little alcove. And I sat there, and it was like, next, somebody come and sit down next to me, and I was like, yes, what can I do to help you, kind of stuff. It was like I think I'm going to do that, go around to different hospitals and sit and just have people start talking to me, because it was great. There was one, and I was like, oh, this is really great. And I'd sit there and read my paper, somebody else come down, hi, how are you? You know, it was great. It was really cool. It was what Mary Claire was talking about in the Atlanta Lifescapes, about how to serve. So I was just like, well, this is easy. I can go do this to find a place to serve. It was really fun.
Do you think that they'll have a little flyer with her face on it in all of the hospitals saying, watch out for this woman?
She looks like she's reading the paper, but she'll strike up a conversation with anyone.
Good work. I like that you were seeking the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yesterday I had an opportunity to do something that I don't normally do, which was to go and meet somebody completely that I don't know. We have a house that's being built across the street from us, and it's been they started it back in the fall, and now it's starting to look like a real house. And so yesterday I noticed that there were people there, and I thought it was the builders, but then I noticed there were little kids running around. I thought, okay, maybe these are the people that are going to move in. And it was the people that were going to move in. So I was like, okay, and I got dressed really quick and went across the road and introduced myself. And we had a really nice little chat while they were getting ready to leave and all that. And it was just, I felt energized for the rest of the day because of our conversation. And I don't know, it just warmed my heart to meet them and their kids, and to know that they're going to be our new neighbors in a few months. And I was proud of myself for actually doing that, because I thought, most of the time I'd be like, I'm just going to wait, and if the opportunity presents itself, and I was like, well, this is the opportunity, so go, and it was really nice.
Good. I like that part, making it happen, moving out of your comfort zone to serve, to give, to be. Hi.
Well, speaking of moving out of your comfort zone, I was doing my internship this week in several different locations, and one of them was working with a whole lot of children about eating healthy. So that was definitely a opportunity to, connect with little people.
Did you scare them?
No, I was encouraging them to eat fruits and vegetables. So.
Right. Did that scare them?
Not so much. But I realized this whole past week I had an opportunity to be around a lot of different people in different environments. One was like at a low-income community center, and just being friendly and nice and just accepting of them, because they're coming in to do like a weight challenge, and just being a kind, loving person, that made them, I think it made a difference, so, because there needs to be more loving, kind people out there, so.
You think it made a difference?
Okay, it probably did make a big difference.
I've had a couple of opportunities this week. Friends had called me up that had relationship problems, and because I'd never have any. But anyway, just holding space for them and being
Good,
present and
good,
listening to their story and giving advice when I can, when asked, and it was really good.
Good service. Good service. Okay.
One of my coworkers was looking really down in the dumps and had been for a couple of days. And there's a lot of stress right now at Community Action Council because of the uncertainty about funding and ongoing programs and job security. And she'd just been working. And every time I saw her, she looked like she was about to cry. So I thought, okay, I have something that will cheer her up. Meyer's advertisement of an Easter cake, which is a picture of a bunny butt diving through a plate. And I thought this was the funniest picture I'd ever seen in
It's
my
like
life.
a rabbit.
A rabbit, right. But all you see is the butt part with the little pink tail, and it has coconut on it to mimic the fur. And the two little pads of the hind legs. It made me laugh when I first got it.
Don't say it.
Anyway, so I just said, I'm going to go and show this to her. And I did, and her face totally changed. She started laughing and says, oh my God, that's so cute. And it was just like the energy shifted.
Good.
And for the rest of the day, she looked happier and better. And she'd been looking for 2 days.
And did it feel good for you? Yes?
Yeah, especially the bunny butt.
And for you? Did it feel good? Did it feel good?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
This past week, I had an opportunity to go to Indianapolis and meet with legislators and advocate for children and families in Indiana. And one thing I made a point of doing is thanking them for their service. And before I met with the various people, senators and representatives, I researched which bills that I care about that they voted on and supported.
Nice.
So I specifically thanked them for those efforts, especially if they sponsored those bills, and asked them what I could do for them to support them in this effort, this shared effort. And they just seemed to shift. It seemed to be less like this regular old meeting that they're having with 100 people before they go into caucus, but yet it was more like they got very relaxed and was just talking about normal things that happen back in our area, in our district, And I thought I would continue to send energy to everybody I was around, but I felt a really big shift or difference when they felt personally
Right.
recognized.
They will remember you. Very positive. This side of the room had anything?
Well, it's always a pleasure to go to the nursing home and feed Rose Jewel. And she's just so sweet and loving. I call her my wacky little happy Buddha. And so, she's just, and she talks all the time, but it doesn't really make sense. But we communicate by rubbing foreheads. So I'm always trying to send her light, forehead to forehead.
Good, good.
And she's just so much fun to be with.
You make a difference in this world just by being here. You make an even greater difference in this world when you are being here consciously living your love. And you make an even greater one when you are here consciously living love as an act of service to others. Giving your love makes you feel good. It's almost a selfish act. It makes you feel good because you are all about love. It's your very nature. So the more that you can do to help yourself by giving love, the more you're going to help the world that you're in. This is a fun month. Bunny butts? Right, bunny butts. Yes. It's really quite a picture, you know.
Somebody's making that cake, it's even funnier.
The back end of a bunny is not something I would think of near a cake.
Maybe it's down the rabbit hole.
I think it's part of American mythology that bunnies are cute little clean.
Somebody said, I heard them say over there, that maybe it was a carrot cake. For the bunny.
Because bunnies eat carrots.
Among others.
All right, so a fun month. However, a fun month because of a couple of important things that are going on. One of them is that you have a multiple number of planets affecting your planet, all shifting around in different degrees of retrograde. Now, a lot of people say exactly that when you are thinking of, hey, hello again, when you are thinking of retrograde planets, because that usually means that it's going to take a little more consciousness to keep things flowing the way you need them to. I consider that a really good thing. Getting 8 out of 6 different planets essentially means it's happening in every area of your life. So stay conscious. It's very, very easy in this world to walk around unconscious, looking alive, but not. So stay conscious. The second part of it is it's going to be a month in which you really can focus on you and need to focus on yourself. You need to know what you want. Because when you know what you want, you more or less create a barrier against that which you do not want. Now, that was meant to be a really friendly warning. Did you get it? Mm-hmm. And that warning was, you're going to get a lot of things you don't want if you're not focused on what you do want. So pay attention. Pay attention, know what you want. Now, that can mean several things. One of the things it can mean is you set goals. This week I want to accomplish this. Or this month, I want to be sure I accomplish this. Or even better, today, I want to focus on this. Today, I want to accomplish this. bringing what you want into your life also comes about by way of your gratitudes. So I would encourage you to really pay attention to what you are grateful for. Every day, every moment you can think of it. A good time to wrap a string around your wrist so that every time you see it, you'll remember, be grateful. Gratitude not only opens the door for creative manifestation, but gratitude cleans your energy. When you are feeling down, when you are feeling frustrated or angry, not that you ever do, of course, but if you did, taking a few moments and thinking about all that you are grateful for will turn that around. Expressing gratitude is your easiest way to love yourself. Think about it for a moment. You think about what you're grateful for, you realize what you're giving to yourself. The love that is a part of that. So start right now by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. And if you're willing to share one of them, just put it out there to help stimulate other people's thoughts. I'm going to give you an assignment related to this, so the more little idea helps, the better.
Grateful for Lee and for you.
Thank you, love, as I am for you.
I'm grateful that Marion's better.
And grateful that Marion is better. You hear that, Marion? Better.
I'm grateful that I have a lot of beautiful wildflowers in my front yard.
Nice, nice.
I'm grateful that I got to spend time with a friend out in the country, admiring all the beauty of the animals and the trees and the horses and the chickens and the roosters. It was lovely.
Nice, nice. Just go.
Sunshine.
Good.
Prosperity.
A garden.
Mary.
Great friends.
Able to give back.
Sophie.
The creatures. Friends.
Dancing.
Compassion.
Beauty.
Wonderful.
Clean food.
Clean.
A wonderful husband.
Temple team. My kitties.
Ditto.
A great dog.
My home.
Colors.
Gail and Charlotte.
You hear that, Charlotte?
Music.
This beautiful day.
My home.
First butterfly.
Nice.
Art.
Mary Clara.
To get you started on recognizing your gratitudes, try writing down 30 of them. 3 and 0, that would be 3 and 0. 30 of them. No, not right now. Homework. 30 will push you. But it forces you to dig deeply enough that you realize that you are grateful for the stones that are in your yard. You are grateful for that interesting paint color, whatever it is, on these walls. And you start putting yourself into the habit of gratitude for the often unseen things. You move past the big obvious ones. And if you find that 30 of them are just so simple for you, then increase that number. Because I want you to reach that place where it's not coming out quite so fast. And you start digging, looking. So will you give that a try? Use that this month. Remember, know what you want. Or what you want is definitely going to come, but along with a whole lot of what you don't want. So know what you want. Big key. "2017 is the year of the Phoenix. Not the year of Phoenix Institute. That's every year, right? The year of the Phoenix. Tell me about a phoenix."
Phoenix is a great a great bird that once every 26,000 years bursts into flame and is reduced to ashes, and soon out of the ashes is an egg that hatches and a new phoenix comes out of it. And it is born and lives for 26,000 years and defeats that cycle.
Why would he know that? And basically, that is the story. So fill yourself up with all of the lessons that can come out of that, and you can go on home. It's about rebirth. It's about not settling for that which has been, and being willing instead to recreate something new. It's the willingness to let go of what has been and be open to what can be. A lot of times the idea of the phoenix is the phoenix rises whole out of the ashes, but that's not the case. It is reborn in the same way that any bird, let me change that, to almost all birds are born. It has a little egg, and it has to come out of that egg. And then by some miracle of storytelling, it shakes itself off and shoots into the air and is the new phoenix. Birds don't actually do that. In this hemisphere, April is very much about that very same kind of thing, isn't it? Your flowers are coming up out of the ground. Animals are sniffing each other out and saying, "Hey, baby, want a date?" Be they two-legged ones or four-legged ones, or eight-legged ones, or unlegged ones. It is a time of renewal. What establishes that something is alive? It breathes? Not necessarily. What makes life life? Reproduction, she said. There are a multitude of things, and I would imagine that it is regularly debated as to what constitutes life. But you individually are going to have your own definition, and your life defines your definition. You recognize life that reminds you of yourself. Or you recognize most easily, certainly, that life which is somewhat like yourself. So, looking at a human that we will say is alive, you would be looking at it as happy or sad or angry or based on how you know those things. What are you seeing in the world these days? Are you seeing the reflections of love and gratitude that we've spoken about earlier? Or are you seeing pain and frustration and suffering and difficulty? And do not answer that out loud, because it is a trick question. Because in the very same way that what you see that is like you is what you're going to see first, so that's also true in the way that you define what it is you're seeing. Are you seeing life around you? Probably not so much if there are parts of you that do not feel alive. So I'm going to go back again to that definition of life. In this case, I want you to think about happy, whole, excited, moving forward, constantly growing life. How much of that are you seeing around you? Probably a lot. But where you are not, what are you doing to put life into that situation? You walk into the hospital and you are sitting in the waiting room where people are going in for chemotherapy, and you recognize everything that I see is a reflection of how I process this world. And all of that is a reflection of what I know of myself. So, what am I seeing? I see some people that are kind of withdrawn into themselves. You have an opportunity. Can I bring a smile? How many of you make it a personal challenge to see other people smile? Many of you do. I know you do. See if you can't put a smile on the ticket taker face, on the overworked nurse, on the fearful maid. Can you make them talk? And the trick there, talk in service of love and the greater one, isn't talking about what's going on with you, it's talking about what's going on with them. It's providing that space for the person to tell you whatever it is that's going on. It's giving your joy and happiness because you know it's going to affect the energy in the whole room. It's choosing not to be tired and overworked and just looking for a break where you really don't want to have to interact with anybody. Allowing you to look like every other dead person in the room. And choosing instead to be the love, be the light, be the bright in the room. But in order to be able to do this yourself, you need to be all of those things. Smiling and creating a space and giving and changing for higher and better by conscious choice. You are reborn every moment. You do not live inside a solid egg. You are stable by intent. You are scattered energy that is choosing to look whole and complete. Insofar as Earth is concerned. You are reborn. But reborn does not mean renewed. Renewal is a choice. Rebirth is a state of energy. You are constantly reborn. You must choose to be renewed. And no, that does not mean get naked again and again and again. Somebody was saying that to me, so whoever it was, that's not what I mean. Renewed. Nude, got it. I'm pretty sure it was Frank.
That's Frank. That's Frank.
No. So, What do you want your life to look like? Not out loud, just think about it. What do you want your life to look like? What do you want to be able to give? How do you wish to affect the energy around you? If you do not have a design for your life is going to be created anyway. But not in the shape you might want. I promise it will be a shape that will work for a greater good, but isn't it nice when that good works in a way that you can really relate to, rather than learning to relate to it by way of the 2x4 to the side of the head? If you're going to renew your life, what parts would you rather not renew? No, don't answer me. If you knew that when you wake up tomorrow, it's brand new, and only that which is a creation that reflects your deepest soul is going to be a part of your day-to-day experience beginning tomorrow. P.S. It is every day. What would you not want in that day? And how do you make sure it's not there? Because yes, making sure something is there you're familiar with. Making sure something isn't there, maybe not so much. Avoidance techniques aside. What are you going to do to change your circumstances in such a way that what you do not want does not come to you? Well, I've got a suggestion for you. You fill your life up so much with that which you do want, which you do love, which does allow you to be the bright, shiny, crowbait that you are, that there is no room for that which you do not want. You need to be able to recognize what you don't want as much as you are able to recognize what you do want. But you do not want to give a lot of attention to what you do not want. You just need to be able to recognize it from afar. Mary, is that you back there? I think it is. Hi there. But if Mary is not whom the one you're actually looking for, you're not going to run right over and give that all of your attention. You're going to instead keep looking for what you do want. Your ability to recognize gives you the ability to choose your action with it. I'm going to give this a lot of attention and see just how much negativity I can draw to me. Or I'm going to find what is really positive and what I do want and give that a lot of attention and see how much of that I can draw to me. Oops, that looks like what I don't want. Let me shift what I'm doing here. Renew. New, shiny crowbait, I said. Bright, shiny crowbait. What do I mean by that? Crowbait, no one knows.
Crows love bright, sparkly, shiny things.
According to Disney.
According to crows.
Yes.
You were thinking like rebate?
Yes.
Crowbait, an attractor, yes. That which draws attention. That catches you out of the side of your eye. That is noticed. Your energy makes you that bright, shiny attractor, drawing to you those things that you focus on the most. If you are renewing your life, what do you want to draw to you? Second, and hopefully easiest part of that renewal is that once you have seen what you want and seen what you don't want, pay attention to what you see around you and spend your time where it amplifies what you do want. Going back to crowbait, you will draw to you that where you spend your most thinking time. So what are you drawing to you? Have you ever been around one of those people who can see the same movie you did and you come out saying, I really like that, and they say, oh, it was so depressing. Or in some other way, translate a situation always in the most forlorn, negative way. Are you usually eagerly drawn to that? Oh, be really down and depressed again, all right? It just, makes me feel really happy because it's such a big difference. So go ahead, come on. Let me be around you a little longer so that you can be down and unhappy. And I can just suck that up, all right? I don't have it naturally, so I have to be around you for it. There are people in your life that there's nothing you can do about staying away from that. But for the most part, you don't feel enlivened being around somebody who walks around dead. That's a whole different situation. You see what you are. And if you don't like it, you change it. Now, big picture. You are whole and magnificent and beautiful source energy. Big picture. You have no needs. You are a function of all. Big picture, there are no downs, there are no ups, there simply is. But the picture that moves around in this skin, this picture, has a whole different view. And that's the gift that you are. That whole different view. That's the power of what you are. You see things uniquely. Not humans see things this way and plants see things this way. No, you see it differently than the person right next to you. But how you translate that does not depend upon the genetics you have or the experiences you've had. They can, and they do for most people. But the past is dead. And when you judge who you are right now by who you were a year ago, well, what? Are you a zombie? You're walking dead? Because that you is dead. And this you is rising forward out of a rebirth, a new creation. And that you is being hit on all sides by all kinds of energetic influences that want to mold and create you into something they can relate to. But you are a new free bird. That's funny.
Good song. Yeah, Rebirth. It's a song. It's a song.
A song, all right. A new phoenix, a renewed, every day, after a conscious rebirth. Think for a moment of a very, very young person, like 2 or 3. Very first density. It's all survival. Very second density. It's all me. Very third density. And it's not only all me, it's all I need. And slowly that begins to change. How does the toddler move out of that very survival-oriented egoic self into something that other people in this world will manage to be around. How does that happen? Trial and error, yes.
They experiment, they fall down, they get back up, they
Yes.
explore, they, are curious.
They test boundaries.
Yes. They practice making mistakes. They practice falling down. They practice how far can I push this? Can I push it even further today? And that's what you're doing. And that's what this month is about. Yesterday you died. And this morning you woke up and you were born again. What do you want to do with your new life? With your new day? With your new claim to live in love in this world? What do you want to do to grow in love and joy? And release so as not to draw to you those things that do not bring you love and joy. This month is all about the energies I've spoken of tonight. Actually started up about a week ago, and will be continuing until actually right into the retreat. Every day, a new creation. Make strong that which you want in your life. Do not be among the walking dead. It's too easy. Choose life. Abundant and glorious and whole and perfect life. Life. I'm good. How about you?
Remind everybody to stay for pictures. For Marion, for her hospital.
There's signs.
There's signs there.
That say, we
We're
see
gonna-
you healthy and happy and
We're gonna,
Marion, we love you.
we're gonna have ourselves, oh, there you go, take that picture. He's got their phone, Frank. There you go,
Very nice.
yeah.
Even have it right side up.
That was fortunate. I want to remind you all that you are regularly faced with opportunities to make decisions about staying or leaving. Most of the time you don't realize that it's that kind of opportunity until it's past. Make use of your will to be here. Make it full and good. Don't waste your time. Choose wisely. Only those who have nothing left to do here are leaving. And that's not you. So don't put yourself in a place where you give it a try to go and don't succeed, because you won't.
Thought it was all the yelling we did that helped.
Be well, be whole, be one. Glöckennummer